are. We're back at Beermas show. This is day 10, and right now with us tonight we have a return guest, Jesse Bash, craft beer aficionado, and right now that we have tonight, which is really a nice ale quad St. Bernardus Abt 12. But before we actually get into the actual beer itself, I want to talk to you, Jess, and maybe you can tell me about the experience that you've had over the year, and different ales, different beers, different scenarios, different cases that you've liked, because you do a lot of traveling yourself. So maybe you can tell me how some of the beers that maybe you've had that were chase beers, were they good, were they worth it? I mean, was there different ales that you've tried out west? Because I think I've heard you talking about going west, and so.
Yeah, so this year hasn't been like a super exciting year for new beers. I've been drinking a lot of IPAs, kind of like last year. I did go, I went out west. I just got back from San Francisco 2 weeks ago, and a little over a month ago I was in Boulder, Colorado, and Alabama, Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, wow.
So I was surprised by how good some of the IPAs were in Mobile, and I tend to prefer the West Coast IPAs with the citrusy, sharp hop flavor, the clear and somewhat lighter bodied beers. Not as big of a fan of the New England style IPAs, but it's been pretty good. Out in San Francisco, I went to 21st Amendment. Had a good experience there. I always usually go there every time I'm in town, and had some of their IPAs. I don't remember which ones right now off the top of my head, but I know there were things I can't get here, right. What you typically can just get at the brewery. And I also went to Black Hammer. It was the first time I went to the brewery in San Francisco, and that was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't think I've really had anything super memorable this year. I did actually have this St. Bernardus Abt 12 about 3 weeks ago at Pour.
Oh, nice.
And,
nice, right downtown.
Right downtown, and
nice.
it was very good. It was the first time I had a Belgian in a while. And it reminded me how much I liked Belgians.
And I'm sure the characteristics when you get a draft versus the actual bottle, are kind of different, and actually.
Yeah, I haven't. We'll see.
Yeah.
So I haven't had in a bottle in a long time.
Okay. Yeah, one of the things that's really kind of special that I didn't know. The more I get to know you, the better. Is that last year we actually had the opportunity to drink the Alchemist Heady Topper. That's pretty famous, and with that. You said that you kind of shine away because it seems like the New England style IPAs have kind of been a fad type of thing, and people are getting kind of carried away with it. But I mean, I enjoy them, but at the same time, I can understand that somebody that's really from the area, that's had the experience like you have for many, many years before it actually went, like the fad stage that, hey, this has been around for quite a while. Where have you guys been? So.
Well, actually, they didn't have that style of beer when I was in New England.
Oh, okay.
It's a newer style. I think it came mostly out of Vermont, and I believe it was pioneered by Alchemist.
Oh, okay.
And the Alchemist, that's still the best New England IPA I've had.
Yeah.
It's for the most part, I kind of view New England IPAs as lazy IPAs, where they're saving money on not filtering the beer.
Right. Keep it cloudy. Right. Exactly. Well, one of the things that's really kind of interesting about the quads themselves, you've actually been to Belgium, and you actually you're such a fan. You've actually brought your St. Bernardus chalice here tonight, so you can enlighten us all about what you thought about going over to Belgium itself, having them fresh, straight from the brewers, that type of experience. That's just great.
Yeah, so I was, the first time I went to Belgium, I didn't know anything about Belgian beers. I just, so I was in undergrad, and I went to a bar and had about 4 beers, and I was like, why am I so, drunk after just 4 beers? And then I kind of realized, like, oh, their beer is very strong here. And it was sort of a quick trip through there, and it's like, oh, this is good. And then I was coming around again later that year, and in that case, I booked a room above a bar.
Nice.
And stayed there for it was not quite a week, but I would go down. I would go down in the afternoon from my room, go to the bar, and just sort of go through their taps.
Right.
And yeah, just to figure out what I liked. St. Bernardus was one of the ones that really stuck out with me. Dorival was one of the ones that I really liked as well. And they have, they're all very strong. They have a nice body to them, lots of head, very highly carbonated. I think they use the Belgian sugar candy to keep the body lighter than you would expect for the alcohol content, which makes them deceivingly strong. But yeah, they just have a lot of character. Yeah, they're fun because you can't they're so different from each other for the most part. Another area that I really like their Belgian ales is their Trappist breweries, of course, but in Quebec there's some great Belgian breweries there.
Nice, yeah. I must admit I'm a bit of a novice when it comes to a lot of Belgians, and with that, I've heard this. I've done a little bit of history research. The Trappist monks actually developed this back in the 1830s, and it was almost a combination between them and West Valetin, is that it is? West Valetin, something like that.
Yeah.
The Westy 12 and them, they had a collaboration back in 1940 where they actually developed this formula here. And it's one of the things where the Westy 12 and this one, the St. Bernardus Abt 12, they have almost like they've worked on this formula, whereas the St. Bernardus is consistent. And I've heard that Westy 12, I haven't had a chance to try Westy, but I've heard that varies, so it's really kind of interesting.
I've had both, but I haven't had them side by side. So I mean, to make a real comparison, I would want them side by side.
Nice. Well, just like last year, you actually brung the luck to. It was like the greatest hits, since this is the 6th annual. It was the 5th annual, and I put like the greatest hits out there, and you were. Brought the luck towards the winner, and maybe this is the case this year, because let's go ahead and give it a try.
Right.
Let me go ahead and pop and let you do the pour, because this one has a good bit of carbonation, so you definitely want to make sure that you give it a decent pour. But the head on these, I'm sure, can get really interesting.
The Belgian lace as it goes back down.
Yeah. I mean, you could smell the malt. You can everything about the characteristics are there. How yeasty it is. You could, even just pouring, you could actually just smell it right there. And just overall, taking at the lacing and everything that's there. You can almost smell the actual ingredients and all the pride that goes into it, with the cheers to you, man.
Oh, cheers.
Yeah. Now, they don't call it strong ale for nothing. I mean, it's got definitely a little booziness in there, a little...
You can taste the alcohol.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the things that's really kind of interesting about this is I taste a lot of cherry, a lot of dates. You definitely got the malt in there. It's definitely a full body experience. Yeah. It's almost like fruitcake inside of a glass.
Yeah. I'm one of the few people who likes fruitcakes.
Hey, for it to still be around, somebody's got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just like around Halloween, like the throwaway candy for a lot of people is like candy corn, and I know some people that adore it. So.
Yeah.
So, what do you have as a keynote? What's the keynotes that you're pulling out of it?
I would definitely say this is on the fruitier side.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not getting any chocolate, maybe some caramel,
Right.
some cherry, and like date or maybe prune or something.
Yeah, this is definitely. It's got the sweet bread.
Yeah.
It's very hefty.
Good Christmas beer.
That's what I was saying. It's like the fruit cake in a glass.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is definitely something to enjoy the holidays with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is it. Well, while you're letting that mellow, I wanted to give you this gift for coming tonight.
Thanks so much.
Dragon's Milk.
Yeah, this is good. I've had this before.
It's got a high alcohol percentage too, and surprisingly, for a strong beer, this is a 10%er, but that's like a 14?
That's 11.
Oh, 11. Okay.
Yeah.
I just can't remember, but still, yeah, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And, well, there you go. Merry Beermas.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, it's another episode. This is episode number 10. Got 2 days left to wrap up the season, and Wally Lamb here with Jesse Bash. Good night and Merry Beermas to you.
Okay. Cheers.
Yeah.